This is Swiss and Chips, your British guide to Switzerland.
Hello and welcome to Swiss and Chips. My name is Simon.
And my name is Jo. Hello.
Today we talk about...
Learning Swiss German on a course.
Exactly.
So if you listen to our last episode, we were talking about what it's like to move to Switzerland if you don't understand Swiss German.
Yes, and a bit about your first experiences and so on.
Exactly. And one of the things that I've done after living here for 9 years is sign up for a Swiss German course.
Yeah, basically your way was working somewhere where people speak English. Mm-hmm. And then someone deciding, I want to learn better Swiss German, but via High German, basically.
Yes.
So you made lots of German classes. You took lots of German classes.
I did, yeah.
And you did your C...
One.
Exactly.
In German?
Yeah, in High German. And now you decided to try to learn a bit better Swiss German.
Yes, exactly.
Is that right? And then you signed up for a class.
Yeah, I signed up for a course at the beginning of the year, and we're recording this now in May. So I guess I've been going for... No, I signed up at the beginning of the year, but started in about March time, I think.
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
So I've been going for a few months.
I thought you say, now it's like 2019, in case you listen to in 2020.
If you're listening to us in the future.
I'm already fluently in Swiss German.
By the time you hear this,
Exactly.
I've been speaking Swiss German for 20 years. No, I've been at my Swiss German course for about 3 months.
I see.
So, basically, when I passed my C1 in High German, my exam, I was kind of quite proud, understatement of the century. And I thought, oh, now I've got so many options. But you know what would be really nice would be to be able to understand the people who live here.
Yeah, the thing is...
And they speak Swiss German.
By now you understand very good High German, and you can say quite, you can participate in a conversation, but it's not like naturally yet, right?
In High German.
In Swiss German.
Oh, yeah, exactly. If
It's
someone else is talking Swiss German, I can talk High German. We can kind of talk relatively normally.
Yeah.
They can anyway.
Maybe not like you would talk in English.
No.
More or less like I speak in English with... Always have to think twice what I'm saying, actually. And
Yeah,
then
think a little bit.
After I said it, I'm like, what was that exactly?
That didn't make any sense, yeah. And by the time you get to the end of the sentence, you think, yeah, anyway.
So is that the same, like, because if I speak in English to someone who is fluently in English, like, let's say your friends or...
Or me.
Yeah. Well, you are used to me speaking in English, so I think that's not a problem. But someone I don't see so often, then do you have the same thing? So I explain a really nice story, let's say, of my childhood, my most important heart-opening whatever story, and you're like expecting reactions like tears running down and screaming and and people just look at you like huh,
and
then you think like did I explain this correctly? You know what I mean?
I guess the thing is, I'm not so much talking about kind of emotional stories from my childhood, but what happens to me, I think, is kind of similar. I often try to explain something that's quite a complicated situation, or how I feel about something that's maybe a sort of delicate situation.
Yeah.
And where I sit on the kind of side of two quite delicate subjects. I try to explain that in German. And what happens is people kind of lean in and make the very concentrated face and nod and nod and nod and nod. And then I'm sort of finished talking and they're like, and they're sort of still staring and nodding. And you're like...
I would explain now your face expression, but I can't really.
It's this kind of intense look and they're looking at you like, yep, And you're like,
but
well...
you would expect something like, no way.
Yeah, at the end
really
you expect to say, yes, of course, I completely understand. But they're sort of like,
What?
And I'm like, that's kind of confusing, isn't it? Like, no, it's fine. And you're like, oh.
I see. Okay, so then it is the same.
Yeah.
Back to the
Swiss German course.
Yeah.
So, yes, in order to aid this complicated situation, I decided, you know what? Now the German is pretty good. I can say stuff. I'd like to be able to maybe say something in Swiss German, but ultimately understand these Swiss Germans.
And so where can you do it?
Yes, depending on where you live, obviously there'll be different language schools. The big one in Switzerland is the Migros Clubschule.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm doing my course. Basically, it's a matter of price, timing, days of the week that I think helps you make that decision.
Yeah, I think we had already an episode about Swiss German where we explain quite in detail what you can do, where, and so on. So we'll link that in our show notes.
Yes.
But once you've started, I mean, how did you do? How was it? So you went there
Well,
and said,
it was a similar situation.
I must say, sorry, but I must say before I knew you, I didn't know that there is something like a Swiss German class you can take or course.
Yeah.
Because Swiss German to me is not really a language. It's because there are not really, well, there are books, but it's not really an official rule or something how you write. And so I didn't really know that it's an actual language. And more to the point that there is a course for it. So I'm also excited to know. So you went there and then how is it?
Well, I mean,
what's the options?
it's a dialect anyway.
Yeah.
But I guess because it's such a kind of rich dialect, there are things that you can learn.
I see, but you can't make like an A1, A2.
No, you can't do an official exam.
So what course options do you have?
Yeah, so I looked up online basically, and at the Migros Clubschule in Bern anyway, there were two different levels. The kind of very much beginner's level, which has an introduction to kind of Swiss culture, and you learn basic phrases and so on. And then there was a slightly more advanced course.
Yeah.
But the description on the website was exactly the same. And the only thing they
Which
said...
is helpful.
What they said was the requirement for the course is that you're either a native speaker of German or you have a kind of medium to high level of High German.
I see.
Which I have with the C1. But I think if you were around the B level, you would probably also be able to take the class.
So, and the requirements for the first course is...
You also have to be able to speak High German to do the first part,
Okay.
At there anyway. There are probably other places where
I see.
requirements aren't so high. But yeah, so I thought, okay, I'll email them and ask some questions. So I emailed them and said, what's the difference between this one and that one? And it all got a little bit confusing. And I thought, okay, going to go into the office and ask them and try and get this straight. Should I do the beginners or the advanced course?
Yes.
So we went together to Migros Clubschule, and there's a very nice young lady at the desk. And I said, don't know which one to do, which one should I do? And basically we had this whole conversation with her speaking Swiss German and me speaking High German.
Yeah, basically you asked, so to which class I'm not sure if I have to go to the beginners first or if I can do advanced. You asked in High German.
Yeah.
And she then very nicely explained for like 10 minutes in Swiss German.
Yeah.
And then...
So on.
And so on, what you can do and basically
what's involved, what happens in the class.
What you said before, basically.
Yeah.
And then she said, did you understand what I said? And you were like, yes, I did. And then
more or
she
less.
said, oh, then I guess you can go to that one.
And I was like, great. Very good. Because you can do an online test to see what your level is for courses like French or Italian or High German, but not for Swiss German.
I see, yeah.
That's why it was a bit hard to know. So I said, all right, then I will go for it with the advanced course because I had this kind of big confidence boost from understanding her.
So now I'm sure listeners want to know, so what do you actually do in this course?
Yes, well...
Is it like a normal school where you have a book and everything? Or?
Yeah, I mean, there's a course book that you can buy. We'll put the name of it and a link to it in our show notes. So I've got that. And inside the book, I'm learning Bern Deutsch, by the way, because I live in Bern. And basically in the book, every chapter is about a different situation that you might find yourself in, like at the post office or at the supermarket or going to the doctor's or whatever. And they give you kind of key phrases, key words that you can learn and kind of associated grammatical rules as well, which was unexpected. So that's the book. But in the class, we kind of dip in and out of the book, but we don't stick to it that strictly. And the surprising thing about the course is that there's actually a lot of singing involved.
Okay.
Which I did not expect. And I think it's because the course is trying to give you this understanding of like Swiss culture and also the kind of rhythm.
We don't sing so often.
Yeah, but you have music.
Yeah,
and it's written in Swiss German.
Yeah,
and that's the interesting thing because there aren't so many sources of Swiss German. But music, there's tons of music and tons of songs. And so then not only can you hear it, but you can also read it, which is actually a really useful learning tool, I think.
And with the music, you don't lose the fun. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite happy to sing songs, but not everyone in the class is so up for it.
I would hate it.
And sometimes we have this kind of action songs where you're tapping knees and heads and things. But,
Excuse me,
it's all
what?
good
And you're
fun.
actually doing that. Then
Sometimes, yeah.
people get up and then you make the
You know,
dance.
it's kind of like clap your hands or touch your knees and stuff. We don't do that so often. And there are glass windows on the classroom. So sometimes people are standing outside and staring in.
What?
Because, like when you're a child, basically, you also do these kind of
Yes.
things to learn words, don't you? And it's the same if you're
Yeah.
trying to learn a language from scratch. You don't know what the word is for knee or head. And if you can do an action that you associate with the word, then it's easier to remember it. Yes, you will feel stupid if you learn Swiss German.
Yeah. Also, every other language I didn't have to dance.
Yeah. Well, the teacher is also very bunnies. So it's,
That's not
it's
really-
it's a
what-
course for
what
the
does that
open-minded. It means, I think he just loves music.
Yeah. Which has nothing to do that he is very Bernese.
No, but you know what I mean? Kind of
Yeah.
slightly alternative.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very Bernese, slightly alternative.
Yeah, but Bern is kind of an alternative
Yeah.
city, isn't it? It's not like Zurich, all business and straightforward. I don't know if they would do it like that in Zurich.
You got prejudices like a real Swiss person now. Well, no, it's true, a little bit, yeah.
A little bit, yeah. So there's songs,
you
but we also
listen-
listen to like Swiss German rap and stuff as well, but that's
Okay.
much faster.
Yeah.
So it's harder to understand. Basically, we listen to the song first, then we get a printout of the words to the song, and then we read them very slowly, and then we try and read them at the speed that it is in the song. We do that quite a lot.
Yeah, do you also learn words like...
Yes, he's basically given us a big list of words that exist in Swiss German and don't exist in High German. And every week we go through a few more of them.
I see.
But I think the thing that I'm finding really hard is so many of them just sound the same.
Yeah.
And they don't sort of seem to make any sense. Basically.
But isn't that
So-
normal with if
I
you learn
guess.
a new language?
I guess so, yeah. I think it's just been so long since I was really right at the beginning. And I don't know, it just seems like this funny collection of letters together. And there are so
Yeah, it's
many
true.
that are so similar but mean absolutely different things.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I've been going for a few months now, and I was saying a few days ago, I feel like I can't say one sentence in Swiss German. And although at the beginning of the course I said that's not my aim is to be able to understand it better, I'm a little bit disappointed that I can't really say. I can say, like, my name is Joe.
Yep.
Min Namen ist Joe.
Not bad. Yeah, not bad.
But I can't really say any sentences.
Yeah, I see.
And I think I kind of
that is
expected
disappointing
that.
after you taking a class for quite a long time.
But I wonder if I should have started in the beginner's class.
Would you recommend to go then?
I'm so in two minds about this
Yeah.
because my course will end in July. So
Yeah.
I haven't finished it yet. So I'm not kind of making a judgment till it's over. But I'm wondering if it might make more sense if I carried on learning High German. But I
see.
don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. The thing is, there has been quite a few kind of aha moments since I've been on this course.
Yeah.
Where I've seen how words are written. And because my understanding of Swiss German is not bad,
Yes.
but when you see the words written down and hear them at the same time, we listen to kind of conversations as well. Then I've realised, these are separate words.
Yeah,
and you
I
can kind of
see,
see
yeah.
what it means. And I'm starting to understand the kind of building blocks of the language in the sentence.
yeah,
so
yeah.
that is actually very useful. I think it's just
So
harder
you
than I
make
thought
steps,
it would be.
but very small.
Yeah, I think it's just much harder than I expected.
Yeah. So would you recommend it or not? Can you say a yes or no? Not yet. Let's talk about that
Yeah.
once it's
Okay.
over.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have any other ideas how someone can learn Swiss German? I mean, once you're in Switzerland and
Yeah,
You're
I
up for
actually
it.
thought,
I mean, you can listen. Sorry to interrupt, but you can listen to maybe podcasts or radio or
radio programs
Yeah.
or some TV programs you could
Yeah.
watch as well.
yeah, or
on
like
SRF, for
we have
example.
also a local television from Tele Bern or Tele Zürich. There they speak the actual dialect, so it's quite boring. But what can I say?
I mean, it's local news.
Yeah, it's local news, and they obviously don't have any money to produce anything exciting, I would say. But it's quite interesting, I think. Also, if you live there, to watch it from
Yeah,
time
also
to
to
time.
hear about what's going on where you live.
Exactly,
It's quite cool.
Yeah, but don't expect like a BBC Switzerland or something.
No.
But yeah, that you can definitely watch, I think. And do you have any other ideas, maybe?
Well, I was thinking actually quite a good idea would be to get a Swiss-German speaking tandem.
Where would you get that?
Well, I think you could look in like Facebook groups, for example, and ask, does someone want to give me their Swiss German for my whatever your mother tongue is?
Yeah.
Because
that's
then,
a good idea, yeah.
if you're talking to people at work or people on the street, you don't really have a chance to ask them, can you say that again?
Yeah.
But if you're speaking to someone that you know, or it's a kind of set up situation to learn the language, you can get them to say it more slowly or say something twice. I think that would be quite helpful.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So there you go. That's my top tip.
Great. So with all the tips, and we end the show with one Swiss sentence you can say.
I've already said it.
No, let's...
No, we'll leave it there. Why don't you give us a useful Swiss German phrase?
Well, first, before we end it, I just want to tell, if you want to find a tandem or if you have questions about Swiss German, join our Facebook group. It's called Switzerland for English Speakers, and I'm part of the group, so if I see your question, I try to answer it.
Yes,
there.
that would be great.
And if you have a super exciting tandem, you speak like 10 languages and you want to learn Swiss German, I'm sure you find also a tandem in our group or there are other groups. Just give it a try. And so what's the sentence we should end?
Ooh, okay. What is useful to know in Swiss German? Oh, hang on. I've got a good phrase, actually, which is Come eis Gazia.
Oh, well, that's just a very random phrase. It's like,
but
let's
it's
go
like
and have a drink.
Yes.
I meant more something like, thanks for listening.
Yes, but for the English speakers listening to the show, they'll need to know that phrase.
Okay, yeah.
No, it's a hard to say
Come eis
thanks.
Gazia, yeah. It's good. Let's end it with that.
Right.
Let's go and have a drink.
Ja.
Come eis Gazia.
Ja, gern.
Bye.